cold morning in the city of Jos. How is the weather at your own ends? If it is as cold as this, then it is important that you keep warm. We're so glad that you could join us on today's edition of Today's Live. How are you this morning? We're talking about when people become unrealistic. Of course, unrealistic is lacking in genuineness, lacking in reality, something that is without fact. So, why do people become unrealistic? And then, what do you do when they become unrealistic? My name is Joyce Jakada. I'm not doing this alone. Yours sincerely, Engineer Tony J. Nakali is right here. Good morning.
Yeah, I'm more excited calling my name than your own name.
I wanted to tell them the full meaning, like of the J. I know a lot of people want to, this J that we're hearing every
What
day.
does it mean?
It's Jerusalem.
Prudence and Jamima are right here.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning. Engineer Tony Jerusalem. I hope somebody will not call you that son.
Wow.
No.
Wow.
No,
I'm Jerusalem. City of God. It's okay.
so I hope somebody will not see outside Jerusalem. Okay, let's go to the discussion for today.
You and them, ba?
No, I'm starting with you.
No. Everybody around me is genuine. So, you say, where people, what's the topic
When
again?
people become unrealistic.
Everybody around me is realistic. So, this show is wrong for me. I shouldn't be on this set. The only person that is unrealistic in my life that I'm working on now is Jemima. And by the time we are done, very soon she'll be realistic.
Okay, there will be altar call today. When people become unrealistic.
Why do people become unrealistic? Because you say when people become,
Yes.
that means they were not
Yes.
unrealistic.
Yes,
so
they
suddenly they have
eventually-
become
Yes.
unrealistic. Why do people change all of a sudden? And if you if you look at situations that make you say, "Kai," when people become unrealistic, at some points that means at some point you shared moments. At some point you were cool. At some point you had fun together.
True.
At some point you shared a lot of things together. You know, now these things are memories. They are things that you cannot imagine that you shared with such people. Why? Because things said in secret, you know, people have become Tony Jerusalem now. Whatever whatever you tell them, you will hear it elsewhere, because I don't know how to keep things. If it's easy, like I always say, if it's easy to keep secret, why did you tell me? So if you told me,
And
me
the
too.
person will tell you, please, so you are the only person. I'm telling you.
telling
They'll say,
me.
I'm telling you in confidence.
And in most cases, it's not true. You are the 16th person. So you see, people change for. You don't blame unrealistic people 100% for being unrealistic. Situations could warrant, and decisions can also affect. This, but this is not to justify that being unrealistic is a cool thing. No, it's not so. But if you start changing towards people, I think chances are that they will become unrealistic. Because Jamima, you told me 10 things, and you heard 9 of them outside, and I was the only person you told. You know, you'll be waiting. The day he will come, then I'll come and tell you something. This one is not even too big. Wait till he tells me a bigger thing. I keep telling you, and I no big. Then one day you catch me doing something, you'll become unrealistic. Because payback is, you know. So people become unrealistic for various reasons. And before you start blaming unrealistic people, check the situations around them. And the situations around them will tell you how powerful was Joyce when she was realistic. How powerful is she now that she's unrealistic? That means there are things that were beyond her control. And for some people, instead of looking for viable ways to express how they feel towards or concerning what you did to them, they feel the best way is they resort to becoming unrealistic. Like, I cannot be real with you anymore, because look, I shared this with you, this happened. I gave you this happened. I did this with you, this happened. Because it's expected that whatever you have, based on the bond that you have with that person, you should be real with people, you know. But people lose it for so many reasons.
And they really wonder why you just change. You see, people do certain things to others, and then they just keep wondering, this person just changed, this person just changed, and they will not ask themselves, okay, what did I actually do that made this person change? You know, I've seen people made write-ups about how that it is situations that make people change. So they were not like that, but eventually, like the engineer Tony said, there's no justification for you being unrealistic, for you being like lacking in genuineness. There's no excuse for that. But it's just so common today that you find it difficult to even tell who is real and who is not real, because everybody's trying to put on the clothes of just being someone else. And then some people will tell you, let's just fake it until it becomes real. For some people, oh, times and seasons make them behave the way they do. But like he said, why? Why do people just, maybe you have other opinions?
Well, I feel people become unrealistic because, just like he said earlier on, at a
Who is
point, Tony Jane Akali.
What's the G?
I choose not to say.
Okay, you're also calling me Jerusalem.
No. People become unrealistic. It means at a point they were realistic. Then for them to have become unrealistic, they were hardened. Like they hardened their hearts. Okay, since I cannot get it being real, let me get it being unrealistic. And funny enough, one thing I noticed with people that are unrealistic is it's very hard for them to go back to being realistic. It's just like someone that has been a Christian and the person left Christianity and went back to something else. It's very hard for that person to come back to being a Christian. Then someone that was not even a believer, it's easier for him to be a believer. All you need to do is to convince, share, and all of that. So for me, it's still the same thing with being realistic and unrealistic. Before you become unrealistic, you must have been real to an extent. Then certain things happened, life happened to you, experiences and a lot of other things happened, and then you became unrealistic. Then you decided, okay, let me belong, let me do what every other person is doing. This is the trend, everyone is being unrealistic. This is what they are doing, that is what they are doing, so let me join and do what they are doing as well. So a lot of times you become hardened based on past experiences, and then you want to belong. You don't want to be termed as the one on one side, everyone is on this side, let me follow. So I feel you want to belong.
I like to think that it's an easy reaction to the circumstance that you find yourself in. And why I would say it's an easier reaction is this. See, for instance, that you find yourself in a very poor background, let's say that for one, then you are tired. You don't want that circumstance anymore. And the hard work doesn't seem to be paying off because people keep trampling on you over and over again, and you opt for the unreal. So you go ahead to do. There was this movie that was trending one time. Is it yeah.
You pay for the advert.
I'm trying to remember
On
one
their
movie
behalf.
where the girl had to leave her village and she came to the city, and the life she was living in the city was so not her, and she had very unrealistic dreams, and people were wondering, like, why would this girl come with this kind of behavior and all this attitude, and this is what she wants to and this is how she pictures, this is what she's picturing. She's very unreal. That doesn't seem like something that is possible. That's only a reaction to where she's coming from. And for me, it's like the other side of, like, instead of going all out to follow the whole long process that might still end up being not gaining any much result, it's better for her to live the unreal life so that it would get to be real. So basically, it's just reactions most of the times that people have unrealistic.
You know, most times when you talk again about the being unrealistic, it has to do with high expectations. And some people say, where do we draw the line between faith and then unrealistic expectations? Because we always hear, oh, manage your expectations. Sometimes, oh, you don't expect people to just change overnight. There are times that you hear parents scolding their child, can you just stop this? And some people will say, you don't expect this child to just change overnight. You need to give him time. You need to give her time. You need to keep teaching, grooming, and all of that. So where do you draw the line between faith and then high expectations that become unrealistic and then forms an attitude or character of an individual?
Funny enough, like that's that very question, where is the line between faith and being unrealistic? I'm not so sure that is an easy one to draw a line. See, I've seen a lot of people that go around like that have done actions, that have made some certain decisions based on faith, and they just seem unrealistic. It just seems like, is this person really going to do this, or is this person just dumb or stupid? Because you can't even believe that this person is going ahead to do this. It's not like the person has.
Let me give an example. Boarding a car to another state, and then you have faith that somebody in the bus will pay for you.
Oh no!
You will collect.
That's stupidity.
You become the
Because
conductor.
you have tried a lot of things in your life. You have tried a lot of things. That sounds like life experience.
So while on transit, you keep begging.
I was actually
No, you have faith that somebody will pay for you.
I was actually going the way of you having faith that you're going to drive a car by this time of the year, and you have nothing in your account, but you have already told people that you're going to have a car by that time of the year.
Is it not
That
faith?
kind of faith.
Is it not faith? It happens now.
Yeah, it happens. So I'm saying that that kind of thing, it could be faith and it could be unrealistic. So you can't even. It's not something that you can just draw the line, because for someone it is faith, for someone it is an unrealistic.
So based on where you're coming from,
based on what your mentality is about it. So
Well, for me, faith and being unrealistic is it depends on an
Can I be
individual.
a child of God and enter a car and somebody will not pay for
You need to at least have half of it, so that you can beg well.
so that you know that even if you are begging, or even if nobody decides
not-
to give you at the end of
It's
the
not
day, you
an
can finish
eatery
up
that they'll give you the
the
place to
remaining
watch or
begging.
something.
You do conductor. You
For
call
like half a year.
you call passengers till you lose your voice.
Really, faith and being unrealistic, you have to apply wisdom to the whole thing. You can't just jump in and say, I have faith that this would work, and there's nothing. You should have something in your hands. There should be something at your disposal before you can say.
board the car.
At
But when
least.
I expect that by this time next year I will be driving a car, it's not unrealistic expectation.
If you are working and you know that
If you are working
somewhere,
towards
somehow, God
says
is going
that
to
I
provide
have
the
to
remaining.
work.
no,
Like
you
that
have
is
to.
my work that
No,
will
my
provide
point
the
is,
car.
No, you have to work towards that, right? And then God can send someone to just give it to you.
Somebody shared his
I get your
experience,
question.
and I
I get your
remember
question.
I
I was
shared
actually-
it with you all.
Okay.
How that this guy just went to provide a service for someone, and then the person says he finished his work and he left because the man was obviously sleeping. He couldn't call him out to pay him 2,000 or 3,000 for clearing grasses, and he left. And the man called him, oh, you worked and you didn't even wait for me to pay. He said, I didn't want to disturb you out. And he said, meet me at so place. And he said, okay, I'm coming. The man called him back and said, are you, like, do you have a car? He said, no. He said, you're going to waste my time then. He said, Oga, I'll try and make it as quick as I can. And he got there, why don't you have a car? And he said, it's not even in his budget at the moment. And the man so called him on a different day, meet me in my house. So if I give you, can you pay me in 5 years time? And he said he can't give him his words. That 5 years. Okay, what about 2 years? He started with 2 years, and he said, sir, I can't give you my words because it's not even in my plans at the moment. And he said, what about 5 years? Can you pay me if I give you the car? And he said, honestly, I don't want to give you my word. on that, and he's just entered and gave him car key and said, "Go and go."
Now
You
this
see
is
that-
different because
Exactly.
he was not expecting
he never
it.
It's not
expected
faith.
it. It was a gift.
You don't
It
even
was a
have to. You
blessing.
don't even have to know the meaning of faith for that.
I'm
to
not
happen
really
to
saying
you.
that that's faith, but
Yeah.
what is this?
It's
It
just
was a
luck.
blessing.
It's
It
just
just
luck
happened,
because
yes.
Joyce, you don't have to know the meaning of faith or define faith for that to happen to you.
Yes.
The man did not preach to him. The man did not heal his son. The guy did not do any miracle in his house. He came and did a regular thing that an
Yes.
unbeliever could have done.
Yes.
I don't even know what the standpoint of that guy in terms of his faith. But I'm just saying that if you are nice, naturally good things will happen to you. When people say, "What do good things happen to bad people? What do bad things happen to?" What do they say?
Bad things happen to good people.
It's not true. It's not. You see. Sometimes I like to tell people, somebody will die. You hear, this man in this area, we will never get somebody like this man. It can be true, but Kai, from his life, you can tell that he's going to heaven straight. How do you know? How do you know? You can't. The Bible says the heart of man. The heart of man. You can't. You cannot say. This guy came and did something that made this man happy. People receive gifts all over the world. Okay, what about prostitutes that make men happy and they build houses for them and buy cars for them? Is that faith? Do you understand? You understand what I'm saying? You see a girl like there's in this town where we live. Do you know the number of girls that drive cars? A car is not 50,000. A car is not even 1 million now. A good car is from, like, let's say 7 million naira and above. A good car that you will enter and say, at least this one is a good car. How many people, with what job are you getting that, Some people do legitimate things and they make money. I mean, So if you do internet kind of business, not the illegal ones, you do the legal ones. If you make $1,000, that's 1.3 million. If you make another 1,000, that's 2.6 million. If you make another, that's 3.9. What are you saying? If you keep making that money, car will be the least of your worries. So, but I'm just saying that faith is not foolishness.
Yes.
It's not.
You understand? For you to have faith, you must have sense. Faith is rare to see faith working without sense. So for you to say, I don't know why we have entered Bible now, but for you to have faith, you must have sense. You must have sense to know that it is money that you use to pay for the food you eat in a restaurant. If you believe that when I get to the restaurant, I will eat and they will not ask me for money, you might as well believe that you can stay where you are and get filled without going to the restaurant.
True. I love that.
Do you understand? So if you have faith, the Bible says it is even impossible to please God without faith. So you need to have that faith. And the same Bible says anything done outside of faith is sin. And the same Bible says faith without works is dead.
True.
So if you understand the principles of faith, you don't have to be foolish to be a faith-filled person. No. You have to have some sense to apply faith. What is faith? Faith is just believing that all things are possible. Especially when they don't seem.
Yes. Exactly.
Especially. Your faith is exercised and stretched the most when you are in that situation that you need faith to work the most. That's when faith comes through. The Bible says if you have faith as small as grain of mustard, you will say to this mountain, why should the mountain move? Because you have come before the mountain and you need to cross. So there is a reason why you need to exercise that faith at that time. How many people have faith that they will see tomorrow? No, you have been sleeping, waking. It has become regular. So you feel tomorrow is assured. So you see it. So nobody has faith on seeing tomorrow. People that have work, like you and I, we don't have faith that we have lunch. No, we just take money and go and eat. But you see, somebody that does not have a job, he has to faith for it. The Bible says, the one that started. So that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. The same Bible says, if you hope for nothing, you have all men most miserable. Now, if the Bible says faith is the substance of things hoped for, and the Bible is still saying, if you hope for nothing, you have all men most miserable. That means if you don't hope for anything, you don't have anything for faith to do in your life.
You cannot have empty hope.
So what is your hope? I am hoping that this December, I'm flying to Dubai. That's when your faith is stirred up. To start faithing for money for your ticket, to start faithing for your hotel accommodation, to start faithing for your bills and some shoppings that you want to do. But you see, the guy that push the truck, these menial jobs, he doesn't have any hope in going to Dubai. So he doesn't have faith in that direction. His faith is always realistic. What do I mean? I push this wheelbarrow, I get 2,000 at the end of the day, I eat, I sleep. If I raise much more money, I buy another shoe because I need shoe to keep walking. This shirt, there's nobody to impress. This trouser, there's nobody to impress. So I'll keep sewing it when I have a tear on it or something. I keep mending it. But you see, his dream of going to Dubai, that dream is not, it's not. He might dream that he wants to go to school. It's a different thing. Some of them, that's the highest thing they do. Or dream that they want to marry Joyce Jakada. Because they saw her on TV and they saw her coming to buy hair and or wig in the market. So they're all like, Kai, this is my dream. So I'm hoping that one day I will get the chance to meet her. I don't know where. Somebody of that class or your class, I don't know how you will meet. You don't go to Chicken Republic, she goes there. You eat in a corner, she doesn't. But you have hopes. You see, but when your faith is activated, Joyce can feel like she wants to eat something local. It's true. It's true. It's a spiritual magnet. When you use it, you attract what you want. You use it positively. So you see, for people to become unrealistic and say maybe faith failed, and then they are you are just justifying what you are doing wrongly.
And when you see, being unrealistic is synonymous to foolishness in most cases. Like
I didn't want to say that. That's why I say you have to have sense.
But
So
another interesting thing is that sometimes when you're working towards faith or when you're working with faith, a lot of people see you as foolish. There's that too. It's like, why is this person
because they
even
don't,
doing-
their
because they don't
standpoint is
understand-
They are
not.
not
Yes,
seeing what
exactly.
But
In real
somebody
sense,
that is
in
standing on the same
in real
path.
sense, they are the
Exactly.
foolish ones, but nobody has to mention who is foolish or who is not. You see, that is also another distraction that people have to deal with. When you set goals for yourself, some people say you are unrealistic, or the goals are unrealistic or unachievable. You cannot realize these goals. But you are the one that set that goal. Do people have to know what you're up to? No, they don't. If there's need for them to know, let them know. But if there's no need, prudence, why should they know? Okay, right now you're in a relationship and you are happy, and you know that the 3 last relationship that spoiled, it was because you told people. So now wisdom is telling you, now that you are going out with a guy that is working in CBN, they will look for ways to spoil it mucher. Say mucher. Yeah, the one that said mucher. So let me copy you. Mucher. So now, you see, they try to spoil what you have and what you are about to have. They say things to him. But if you are quiet about your relationship with that brother, you are far from being found for anything, from anything like what dealt with you the last time. If you want to achieve something and faith is the only way that you can maneuver your way through success, it doesn't matter what people say. You see, I read something. They say it's just something on internet. They say this statement, what will people say? It has killed people. It has taken people to the grave. It has aborted a lot of dreams and all of that. But you see, sometimes when you want to achieve something, you are quiet. Every day, I am just looking for newer approaches to the things that I do every day. Because the same thing you do is the same thing that others are doing and are achieving results. So it's your approach to it that is wrong. Because there is no way you say that there are people that have built houses from monies that they sell kola nut.
Yes.
But there are people that are trusting God to make 1,000 from selling kola nut at the end of the day. So you see, the approach of the other person that is building houses is to sell the kola nut in trailers. Your approach is to sell it in trays.
Okay, I have another angle to this because there are people that are okay.
Jamima,
I'm quiet.
in other words, I should shut
No,
up.
I'm not saying you should shut up. I want to see
Jamima, in
look
other words, I should shut up. In the middle of a sentence. In other words, shut up. I have a better point. Go
no,
ahead.
it's not a
No,
point.
go ahead. Jamima, go ahead. Go ahead.
It's not. I want you to just answer.
Prudence, you are seeing what's happening to me
You are
live.
still
And we're wearing the same. You are seeing what is happening to me live. Your former elder brother is being dealt with on set and you are quiet.
No, I just want you to still answer.
She wants
this.
to change what she's going
No,
to
I'm
say.
not changing. It's another angle to what you're actually saying because there are people that are like, okay, I don't want to let it known my plans, and then I just want to keep it to myself. But in that plan I want to tag it unrealistic because eventually you get exposed, or eventually whatever you are doing, if it's not the right thing, it will still put you out there. Because okay, this is I'm going to bring the story of this young lady that met a young man. He's in the Nigerian army, and he told her he wanted to marry her.
Who used to tell you all these stories, Joyce?
Let me complete
Every
this.
day, at least you have 5
That's
stories to
one
tell.
story. She always has
Go ahead.
So-
Nigeria Army, that's where you stop. They will come for you at the end of this show.
So the guy is planning to travel out, I think peacekeeping on some years back. And so he wanted to get married before going. His family advised that and all. And this lady just gave birth like 3 months ago.
For him.
No, for somebody else. And he just met her somewhere at a public gathering that he liked her. He wanted.
With the
They
baby.
became friends.
She-
No, he didn't. She didn't. When they met, she was not with the baby.
Okay.
And so she didn't tell him she had a baby. The baby was just like 3 months old. And she didn't say anything. They started relationship, and after some months, we were talking about marriage. And she accepted. He was so in a hurry with the plans because he wanted to get married before traveling out. And she accepted. She hid that part that she had a baby from him. So each time he's coming to the house, the mother is either with the baby or they give a neighbor. So the week to the wedding, they keep doing that. When he's coming, they take the baby to the next house because they feel after the wedding he's traveling, so she'll just be with her baby, get to certain age, she'll leave him with the mother, and that is it. So in her own mind, she can keep that while she plans. So the wedding morning, that's the Saturday morning that they're supposed to do the wedding, one of the neighbors went to tell the man that this lady is breastfeeding. She has a baby of how many months? And then she told him where the baby is at the moment and where the mother was. So she went to breastfeed the baby when the man went to the house, and then he found out. That was the morning of the wedding, and that was how he cancelled the wedding and just left. So what about people that are having like such unrealistic plans and they are just pushing quietly? I don't want
by saying you don't let your plans out, I mean that lady shouldn't have let people outside, not the person she's involved with. There are two different things. How can you want to build a home with someone and then that person is not aware of who you are truly? How can you hide having a child for
That's
you?
actually being unrealistic.
How long will you keep hiding? How long will you keep breastfeeding your neighbor's house?
how long will the neighbor keep quiet about?
No, even if they let's even say that the neighbors,
keeps quiet.
let's say that the neighbors are faithful neighbors. Let's say that both of them are all bougies. The girl and the man, let's say they are of the same tribe and they are all bougies and they decide to cover the secret. How long will you, anytime, let's go to our neighbor's house. And then one day, the baby is crying, you want to go and they went to fetch water in the river. Where would you breastfeed the baby? That sounds like a kindergarten story. Like
Yes.
you see, women are
Very wise.
the wisdom of women is foolishness to men. Do you understand?
Some women.
Yes.
Most
Actually,
women,
it's
you know,
both ways.
you know what
Sometimes.
women say. Women say, if you tell your husband this, if he finds out, you are in trouble.
When
Then-
I get my was out.
Do you understand? And then they even tell you, do you know what he does outside? I think any woman that is watching right now or listening, you should run away from such people. Run away from such people.
True.
You say that the two are one, two have become one, and all of that. Why would you go and say something that is different? When you need something, you say, you know, me and you, we are the same. Because we are one.
So you choose the instances where you are one.
Yeah, where you are one. But the instances that should make you far apart, you embrace them mucher than. Say, Ima, you should not be teaching me bad English. I know you went to good school, but you should not be teaching me bad English. So, Joyce, you see, when we're talking about being discreet about something, there are people that must not know what you're up to. There are people that should know.
Yes.
There are people that should know. You want to start trading in Forex. What is our business knowing as your colleagues working in a media or outfit?
No
It's not-
business.
it's not-
Go and look for people that are professionals in Forex and talk to them. We have no business knowing.
True.
Even when you start making money from Forex, we don't have to know. Do you not know that there are people who say, okay, right now you work in a particular place. There are people who see you changing clothes every day. They wonder, is it the same salary? Do you not know that there are people like that? So they don't have to know whether it's the same salary or it's not. They don't have to know. You see, that's the truth. They don't have to know. Why do you want to know? So that is why sometimes it's especially your sources of income. Don't play with it. When you see my approach to life, it is entirely different to my approach to work. Why? Because anything that has to do with my work, let me not say I can kill for it because I'm in church, but I can go like an extent that you cannot imagine in your life. See, you can borrow my shirt and say, I want to wear your cloth and go. You can go. If you bring it back, it's ripped and on. I can understand. But you cannot come into my workplace and try to diminish who I have become. I will fight it. Because there's nothing more important than work. You know, people argue it. I've said it several times, but people argue it. There's nothing more important than work. Before I came here, you met me somewhere, right? At the different office. And I heard another office having meeting. And the other person is shouting. Those of you that will not come to work and will say you have family wedding or something, I will deal with you. I will. It's people don't understand what work is. Do you know what work is? The Bible didn't just say work. It said you should do it diligently. Diligently. It talks about masters and servants. If your life is about your relationship with your family members, before long, they will leave you. Why? Because you are irrelevant. Anybody that does not bring money to the family, go and check. In your family, check. People that don't have money, how are they treated? People that are jobless, go and check in within your family, how are they treated? It is assumed that whatever they do is unrealistic. See, you can't even bring an advice. When you want to say something, I've been in meetings like in my community where I come from. We go for meetings like the district, the zone, when we start talking. You see all these young boys that are shouting on social media, doing as if when they see you, they will kill you. When you go there, nobody gives them opportunity to say a word. Because as far as they are concerned, let this meeting close. If I meet this person, at least I'll get 5K. If I meet this person, at least. So nobody has respect for them. Why? Because they don't have a job. The Bible says, work with your hands so that you can win the respect of outsiders. Thessalonians. So if you don't work, nobody will respect you. even family members, they will tolerate you for a short period of time because you become a liability. What do they used to call it?
Liability.
Okay, liability. What is it?
Liability.
But very true. That last statement that he made, very
True.
true. A lot of
Thank
times
you,
we
sweetheart.
find that.
And I think I read somewhere that the greetings of a beggar is like he's trying to greet you good morning, but to you he's begging for money.
Haven't you seen people who are driving? When you see somebody come, you start rolling your glass up.
Yes.
But when you
He's
see somebody well
sincerely
dressed, you're like,
greeting
maybe this is a bank manager that knows me somewhere. You want to greet? You know, it's
It's very so basically what happens.
the
well,
greeting of a
well,
poor man is an abomination to the in Second Genesis chapter.
okay, so when we're talking about people becoming unrealistic, is to
Is
a
today
point
life
that
or work?
Life.
Okay.
you are okay. So for instance, you lost your job or something, and then you stay at home and fold
Joyce,
your
but
arms,
which she's
and you're
about
not.
to.
Oh, wow.
That for instance, you lost your job. She's prophetic. You are about to lose your job. You don't know.
Go
ahead, Prudence. We are listening.
stand all on the ground.
So
It's on that same solid rock that you will be kicked out. Don't worry.
and especially in an economy like ours, where you see that where even if you lose your job, there are no jobs for you to actually go and apply for, and you would get employed. So sometimes people just fold their arms and they're expecting everything to be given to them. You're not doing anything and you're expecting that you would get favors. We've spoken about how a lot of Christians in Nigeria today, I'm specific about Nigeria because that's where I know, in Nigeria today would go out and be telling themselves that they are expecting miracles and they are doing nothing.
But what do you do
So
with
that's
such
when you're
people?
being
Because
unrealistic.
we have them in our society today in life. Even when you are striving, you're trying not to break certain circles, even in your family. You see that the burden on certain members of the family is too much. And you have people, you have adults, you have like everybody's just looking up to just you.
And
Like,
the feeling of entitlement
Entitlement.
is on the high side.
so you see these
Yes.
people, they are very unrealistic, and then their expectations very high, and they don't have any plans. They're not working towards anything. So imagine that the burden is on you in a family, not just in your own immediate family, your extended family, your amongst your friends, and then these people still are entitled. They have unrealistic expectations, and like this is who they have become. How do you handle such people? Like I know someone, you got married, you are not doing anything, like nothing, and then you got a lady pregnant, she gave birth, people decided like you are living together, and even to sponsor the child or to take care of the child, they cannot. Yet there's plan for another child. Like this is the kind of life they want to live. This is what they want to eat. This
Did you
is
say
where
plan? Or decision.
decision.
It's not a plan.
Okay,
If they
they
can't
have
take care of the
decided.
first one, they don't have
They have decided, and this is the kind of house that they want to live, and this is the kind of food they want to eat, and they are looking up to that one person in the family to foot the bills for the life that they have chosen, and they are not doing anything. You have people that are around you that are unreal. How do you handle such?
Truthfully, this feeling of entitlement is on the increase day and night. You see a lot of people that they have strength, they have they are not handicapped, they are begging. In fact, begging has become a badge of honor now. You have to know the right words to speak. The latest trend now is that you'll be at home and then a group of people will just knock your gate. When you come out, they give you a long story of how they've not eaten for days and all of that. Even if you can't give them money, give them raw food stuff. Like, these are people that are well to do. One hand is not missing, one leg is not missing, one eye is not missing, but they are not willing to at least look for something. It's easier when you're looking for something and then you get a little, then someone helps you out. But you're not even doing anything. And once all of that is given to you, you go home and relax, thinking of the next thing, the next story to say the next day. And it's really not working. That's unrealistic expectations that we are setting.
Being handicapped is not necessarily losing a body part. Because when you lose a body part, it doesn't make you handicapped.
True.
when you lose your sense of reasoning,
That's when
Yeah.
you're
there is
handicapped.
nothing that makes you more handicapped
Than
losing
than
your
losing
sense
that
of
sense of reasoning.
Mm.
Because, like you said,
Mhm.
there are two ICs are there.
Mhm.
There are two noses. When you have two noses, what is it called? No, why are you people
Still
laughing
nose.
at my English now? People have not laughed. It's December. Things are tough. People don't want to hear market, and you don't want to make them laugh. When you said that these people have their eyes, they have their hands, their
Their
legs,
and
the
everything.
basic things that people need
Mhm.
to do jobs,
Yes,
to
they
do
have.
work, they have it. But you know what? The sense to engage these things
It's not there.
It's not there.
to work is missing.
Mm.
And that is what is wrong with especially young people.
Yes.
I've not seen a crazy set of people like young people. These are the people that want us. I was engaged in a debate recently on one of our platforms. Not Equa platform, or one of our platforms in my state. And I was surprised how young people were talking. After not voting young people to come back the second time, you are angry that someone appointed an old man. So, sir, if you really needed young people
Why didn't
to
you
work,
vote?
why didn't you vote these young people where you can think alike? Young people don't have regards for work. But look at the people that have invested in this country, people that have worked from when they were 17, 18, till today they are still in the system and they have been consistent. And you think you can come and say that Nigeria needs young people, so all these people should go and retire, that will retire these old men by force. Their clique is more realistic than yours. Their clique is stronger than yours. Their clique is more supportive than yours. If young man has money today, you know the first thing he will do? He will buy a car. He will get a good house. If he has a wife, he will treat her well, put his children in the best schools. And that is what life means to us as
Yes,
young
that's
people.
all.
And just start jumping from one hop to the other, from one hop to the other. And that is it.
That's all.
Travel to weekend with friends to this state, travel here. That is all. Is this what we want to collect Nigeria to do? I don't stand with that. Because nobody will tell you who really they are now that they have not become that thing. But we have seen a lot of young people that have been in power and have disappointed Nigerians.
Yeah.
A lot of them. They have see, you can a car will only impress a broke person. A good shirt will only impress a broke person.
True.
A good shoe will only impress a broke person. Now you tell me now I will just see a car and I open my mouth and be looking in the car. Why? No, you can't impress me like that. But go to the village with your car, especially if a car they have not seen. Even children will come and be going around the
Yes.
car. You know, there was one time I went to this village, Rumpa something. Rumpangomna, thank you. See how children were following 2010
My
car.
God.
They have never seen it. Even their chief. Their chief does. Their chief is a great man. Oh, he's a
I
great
think
man.
we should end this show.
But you know what? All of these things we do is just to impress broke people, poor people. Your essence is not really found. You have not used, because when you lose your sense of reasoning, a lot of things will shatter.
Yes.
A lot of things will shatter. You will not relate to people well. You will not be realistic. You will not be truthful. You will not be trustworthy. Nobody wants to even hear you speak because all the 10 times that they gave you opportunities, you failed them 20 times.
You know,
They gave you 10 opportunities, but you failed them 20 times.
You won't even be useful to yourself.
Exactly. So I was just, from what he was saying, I just thought of the passage in
Thank
James
you. Thank you.
that said,
Thank you. You are the only one that recognizes me here on the show. Thank you so much.
You are the one that is going to compete in the name of the village.
Exactly. When
As
they said
in-
She was there with me.
Wow.
okay, so I just remembered this passage from James that said, you ask but do not receive because you ask for all the wrong reasons. It's
I
the same
missed.
thing. It's just what we have been talking about. You claim that you have faith, but your faith is for all the wrong reasons. What would you do with what you're aiming for? What are you going to use it for at the end of the day? What results will be seen? What work are you going to do with what you're getting at the end of the day? all those things are irrelevant when you go to ask for something from God. And a lot of times we ask unreasonably. You're not, for a young boy or a young girl asking for money, probably this person is just asking for it so that at the end of the day she's going to flaunt her new clothes, or okay, I'm a glam lady in front of her friends and her colleagues. Basically, probably that's what she's asking for. So God decides not to give her because she asked for the wrong reasons. Sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes we get the answer no for our prayers because we are not asking for the right reasons. That's just being unrealistic. If you were real and legitimate about what you want and what you're aiming for, I don't see any reason as to why you would not get it.
In fact, sometimes I ask the question, like, why fake what can be real? We're already in the like, it's the Christmas season already. Like, there are a lot of people that have been up and about, and the whole idea is so that they can impress.
Exactly.
Like, people will spend all that they have, and January they are looking for debt. Like, to start up, to
For
feed, to
birthday
pay,
self, that is not your
and
own.
all of that. Like, I had a lady saying that, oh, so this woman celebrated birthday for her child. Next year let me start saving my own so that I can do birthday for my son. Like,
That's
So
a
you're
very-
trying to
people
outdo
should start
what she
asking
did.
themselves questions like, why am I doing this? Why am I doing this? Am I doing it to impress this person, or am I doing it because I'm expected to do this? Like, why? Do you even know why you're existing? Sometimes people are just unreal because they don't even know the purpose of their creation and even their existence. And that is why, like Engineer Tony said, you want to impress
Thank
who?
you. Thank you.
Like, you want to impress who?
Thank you.
For somebody,
You want to impress who?
The
Every
car-
day you are changing the cloth. You can't use 3 cloths in a week. Who will die if you use 3 cloths in a week? I've been wearing these jeans since last week. Who Abba? When Prudence was saying something, Joyce, you know what I picked? People pray and missed. That's what the book of James. You pray for the wrong reasons. Why will you pray for promotion at work? That's the question I'm asking you. Why will you pray so that they will promote you at work?
So
Why?
that you earn more.
Hmm?
So that you earn more.
So do you pray to be promoted, or you work hard to be promoted?
Exactly.
That's where it is. True.
Promotion does not come from prayer. It comes from doing the
Work.
right thing at work. So when you start praying for the wrong things, there are so many things that God has done. He has finished doing it.
like praying, I want to be the staff of the year so that my picture will
It's
be at
not
the
by
reception.
prayer.
He's put in the
It's
work.
not by prayer. You see, efforts, we undermine what efforts can do. And that is why sometimes we become unrealistic with our submissions, even at work. But we are talking about life now. So let's talk about life. You are open to certain things about life. And for 10 years, that's a decade, you have been working with these things and you have not achieved any remarkable goals in your life. Don't you think it's time for you to change your approach? It's not by prayer. I will always tell anywhere, if I have the opportunity to speak to people, I say the place of prayer, it's not a place for begging, it's a place of fellowship. God already He knows what your needs are. So when you go to have fellowship, in that fellowship, He's already letting you know that this thing, because God does not know what school fees is. He does not operate in our realm. He just knows that when you walk, He will bless the work of your hands. From the blessings, you can pay the fees.
Yes.
God is a spirit. And the Bible says even worship. John chapter 4, you want to worship Him. You worship Him how? In spirit and in truth. What is the truth? Sincerity of heart. I know that I've done this. I know that I've done that. But this thing that I've done that is wrong will never deprive me from worshiping you. So, Father, accept my worship. Because God is a spirit. A flesh cannot worship Him. So it's a spirit that worship Him. So when you start worship, your spirit is worshiping, but it's your flesh that is showing us physically what your spirit is doing. There are certain things people pray for. I know that it's not possible. Even if it worked, it was not the prayer that worked.
Yes.
You are at home 5 minutes to 8, but you are praying, Father, I will get to work by 8, and it's 15 minutes drive to your work. How is that possible?
Realistic.
You are asking God that your children must go to the best schools. There's nothing wrong with that. But look at where you are working. Look at what you are earning.
Can you afford it?
And I keep telling myself, I would rather let God do a lot of things in my life. Like replying people, like people who have dealt with you, like people who are unrealistic, like people who are not truthful, like people who don't even know you and they cheat you. Have you ever been stuck on your way somewhere and you look for a mechanic and he says there is this thing in the next village, it's 25,000. You count money and the thing is 3,000. And he comes back. How can you deal with somebody like that? You don't even know the real price. And you leave everything in God's hands. I say, Lord, all the people that have cheated me in life, I don't know them, but I leave them in your own hands. And if I've ever cheated anybody, I ask for forgiveness. And if I know that I've cheated Prudence, I should come and ask her for forgiveness so that God can also forgive me. Because it was not God that offended me. I did not offend God. It was Prudence that I offended. Why am I asking God for forgiveness for what I've done to Prudence? And Prudence is not aware that I'm sorry. That is not forgiveness. You are just reporting to God what you did. He will not forgive you for that. The Bible says, confess your sins one to another. So if I meet Prudence and say, what I told you yesterday, I noticed you are angry. I'm very sorry from the depths of my heart. I'm sorry. That will not happen. I was not intentional about it. However, I'm sorry. And you went back to God and say, God, I have done this. I made Prudence happy. Just help me to speak to her heart so that she can change, so that she can see me differently, so that she can start loving me the way she did, earlier before this incident. That's being realistic. But you see today, people wake up and they start praying for things that prayer cannot solve. You see, you work, you earn money. You need God's breath upon that money. When you are paid that salary, you say, God, this is my salary. I will buy what this money cannot buy. That is where the blessings come in. Because I didn't steal this money. I worked for it. I worked hard and it came. So once God breathed his breath upon that money,
Well, our time is actually fast spent, but great discussion.
Anytime is when I'm talking. Our time is fast spent.
Thank you for your perspective on this particular
Very unrealistic presenter.
Well, I just do hope that people out there, if you're surrounded with unrealistic people, just trust God for discerning spirit, because for some of them, they can so fake it that before you realize you're already being deceived and all of that. So trust God for a discerning spirit, so that when people start showing up or being unrealistic around you, you can as well avoid such people, or more importantly, pray for them. The sole purpose for our creation is to glorify God, and anything outside that is you being unrealistic. Thank you for staying with us. We really appreciate the EQUA executive for this platform. Our supporters, thank you so much. We pray that God will bless you and increase you, the cast and crew. Thank you so much. And until come your way tomorrow, same time, you have a blessed day. Bye.